YFC started in that church in 1944. Now Scranton Road Bible Church with Scranton Road Baptist Church with Czechoslovakian Baptist Church, where Florian Manis attended.
It was about 1954. My favorite parts of the rallies was just getting together with, seeing all the other youth come in and being able to sing and use the talents that God gave us.
I believe I started to go in about 1951 to the rallies, mostly because Florian Manis was the director at that time.
Then as I became older and got involved in youth group, it was just such a neat thing to be able to take your unsaved friends to a rally that was very professional with the music, the quizzes, and the message.
There were 6 of us. A lady who was in our church who wasn't married, she'd take us down every Saturday or whenever they were.
And then we met a lot of people from different churches like Aaron Avenue Baptist, Parma Heights Baptist, some from the east side.
My husband and I moved to Cleveland in 1981. We've never seen a city like this before. It was so divided, even in the natural and physical aspects of east to west.
In 1976, I went to an event for Youth for Christ. I didn't know at the time it was Youth for Christ. It was Campus Life, and had just a great time. I came from an all-white suburban school, and there would just be every race there, just intermingling, and it was casual, and it was comfortable, and it was just fun.
1983, when we started our ministry in Glenville, when we really got it moving. It started in 81, New Year's Eve, with 3 kids. And probably about 3-4 months later, we'd have 100 to 150 kids packing the gym.
We began offering a number of teen events. Some of this culminated in the mindset for a Billy Graham crusade that occurred in 1994. It was the first time Dr. Graham used Christian contemporary music. At the time we had Michael W. Smith and DC Talk. He did a youth talk.
Youth for Christ transformed my life. I learned that I could pray directly to Jesus. It was amazing to me that I could feel His presence in my life.
It was just a very important time of my life to keep me close to the Lord.
Our family has been really impressed with Youth for Christ and what they're doing in the schools. Just realize how the impact they've had on the lives of kids that don't go to church.
That's something that I found even back in the late 70s, was I fit in Youth for Christ. And you know, when you can go to a program that's led by an enthusiastic, loving, safe adult as a kid and feel like you belong, that is priceless.
The really neat thing was that it was an opportunity for a girl like me who did not grow up in the church hear more about Christ, because it was just so important to me in my life. And it was just such a secure feeling of, it was always there for me, that people cared enough to take care of us that way.
The count was 65,000, but most people think it was about 80,000 kids there. And when they asked for a decision, things just got so crammed, all the exits and everything, and all of the stairways down to the field.
So I still think, because the way God created us, love your neighbor as yourself, there's that, not only a vacuum for Jesus, there's a vacuum for a real relationship. So I'm a big proponent of one-on-one. It's kind of like a pyramid, you know. A lot of stuff happens here, but this is where the dynamite happens.
Grace Haven is this amazing part of Youth for Christ that works with kids who are being trafficked. We have a great need for mentors that will work with the kids who have been trafficked, and it just starts with a relationship. Just like a lot of things Youth for Christ does, it starts with connecting with one youth and learning about them and pouring into them and letting them also learn about you, and then seeing where God takes it from there.
Youth for Christ is really at a very sweet spot right now. There's fabulous executive leadership of the program, very top quality ministry staff across the board with good supervision, and the ministry has grown to a place that I have a hard time believing it's grown to, frankly.
Youth are such a huge part of what God is doing, not only in Cleveland, but in the world, in our country, because they're the future that God is raising up. And so what a privilege we have to be a part of pouring into the youth in Cleveland.
We want to see revival come to the youth.
What God is going to do in these latter days, and we're seeing it start to happen now, He's going to change that dark to light, and He's going to use the youth here in Cleveland. And we need to have an organization like Youth for Christ that understands that. Now it's time for that revival to come to Cleveland. We have the infrastructure in Cleveland to make that happen. God is ready to show His Spirit upon them.
What is my part in Cleveland Revival? How is God trying to use me and my church and my area of influence? And so I think that it's becoming more known that, hey, if I'm a business owner, I can be part of Revival. If I'm a pastor, I can be part of Revival. If I'm a teacher, if I'm a coach, whatever the sphere of influence that God has called you into, you're a part of what He's doing here. And the only question is, will you be involved?
It's time to roll up our sleeves and make a difference with these kids, because these kids are everything.